We probably, we did the research, so we probably, looked at 5 or 6 different local estate agents, and it essentially came down to 2 things for us. Number one was, the price, how much we're going to pay to get it sold, and the second thing was, in terms of transparency, how would we know, that we're getting the best price. We contacted Auctioneera. Someone came out within a couple of days, just talked us through the process, explained. They obviously knew about the area, so it was a local agent, and they gave some guidelines in terms of what they thought the valuation should be. They gave recommendations on what we should, probably put it up for. And then in terms of other things like just getting the process started, it was just seamless, So probably within another day or two, the photographer came out. We had 50 pictures taken. All of them went up. All of them looked really professional. And it was up in my home and Daft, within a couple of days. Like when we're speaking to various estate agents, it's usually like a percentage or half a percentage in the difference between them. But obviously, like Auctioneera had a set price. So regardless of how much it was going to be sold for, we knew exactly what we were going to be paying. And it was definitely a factor. And then, in the end, it worked out really well. We had we sold our house in Douglas, and we had it up for a certain amount, and it went, 18,000 over, what we expected to get, and we saved in the region of 3,000 euros in fees. When you know it's a cheaper price than others, you might feel that what you're getting isn't going to be the same, right? But we actually found that was the opposite. So I remember, even on the first and second viewings, the estate agent, contacted us more or less straight after, and then within about 20 minutes, we got an email alert saying that the feedback's been updated to your dashboard on Auctioneera, and we were able to go in and just see and get that feedback, and if there's any small minor changes we can make to make the viewing better for the next person, it was all there, and it was seamless. And as you said, selling and buying for us, like it depends on what stage of your life you're in, but it was one of the most stressful things we did, and this just helped, that a lot. Over the phase of say a year and a half, it's probably when we sold our house and then purchased another house. So I got to actually meet a lot of the local estate agents, and like I suppose one of the big things for me with Auctioneera is that it's very transparent. So when I was selling the house, we knew straight away, who was putting a bid in, how much the bid was for. Everything was just documented within the Auctioneera dashboard. So I didn't have to call up Auctioneera. I didn't have to chase just to find out what was the latest. Everything was just there. It was transparent, and that's what I really liked about Auctioneera. I'd 100% recommend Auctioneera to sell a property in Douglas. We did it, and we've no regrets. As I said earlier, we got 18,000 more than the asking price, and one of the things actually we look back on fondly was that, so once we hit the valuation, we knew the countdown was on in Auctioneera in terms of, we knew that once the valuation was hit, there was 7 days, before the end. And like I remember with my wife, we were in a WhatsApp group, and the time was ticking down, and we kind of knew at this stage anything we got over the price would be a bonus. And then there was 10 minutes left, and all of a sudden, someone else put a bid in for another, 1,000 euros, and all of a sudden there was a little flurry of bids, and it raised the price by, I don't know, maybe 5,000 euros for us. It was a really positive experience, and as I said, and one of the good things about it as well is that we knew that there was an end in sight. So we knew that, look, 7 days after, the valuation had been hit, we knew that it was going to be done, and we were happy with that. It wasn't going to be drawn out. We knew that after that time we were going to be happy with whatever we got. As a buyer, when we sold and bought our house, it was the buying of the other house was the most stressful part, because you're obviously you've more control when you're selling, but when you're buying, you're kind of at the mercy of the estate agent and who else is bidding against you. And I remember using other estate agents, and we'd have a bid in, and there'd be silence, and then you call, and then it's like, and then the estate agent would then engage and say, oh yeah, somebody else put a bid in 3 days ago, and then it's just the stress of that. Whereas with Auctioneera, straight away someone else has bid against you. You get some sort of alert, whether it's a text alert or an email alert, and you can go in and then you can make that decision. Do you want to bid again? And that's just for me, that's the beauty of it. It's just so transparent. it just takes a lot of the hassle away when you're buying and selling homes.